Okay, hello. Welcome to the run through of the 8 UnFCed GH DLC songs on all Strums. So this includes all sets of DLC from World Tour through to Warriors of Rock. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's probably at least something from every DLC. Let me just double check that. Okay, that's not true. There's nothing from World Tour DLC on here, so it might as well be 5 through to Warriors of Rock. Okay, cut that. Let's start again. Anyway, 8 songs left. Some of them are pretty tricky, but there's nothing here that's anywhere near as hard as some of the Virtuoso songs or the Dragon Force songs from GH3 DLC, which, by the way, I think is now down to 5 songs. So let's just get on with it because I'm sick of doing these preambles and I just want to show you the songs. So the first song is a bit of an odd one, not very difficult, but it's Freebird, the GH5-WOR version, affectionately titled Bird by many people. But anyway, this is an exclusive chart that differs from the Smash Hits version and obviously the GH2 version, I think having far fewer notes. I'm not sure if the sliders are there at the beginning or what, but it obviously doesn't matter for all Strums. In any case, I don't know this chart that well, but I did have a quick look, and the most difficult parts are basically the same, so I'll show you them. Sections are a bit odd. Instead of it just going up to guitar solo U, instead it's broken up into multiple solos. I don't really know what they were thinking. Maybe they had limited sections on Wii, I'm not sure. But anyway, here's the zigzags, what would be normally solo C on GH2. Okay, not really that different. There's a bit of an odd pattern in there. I don't know what they were playing at with that one. But here's the breakdown section. More or less identical to how we would expect it. More on the grid. I'm pretty sure the Smash Hits version wasn't. They were kind of going for that hyper accurate deal with in the Beanoxy era, right? So yeah, a random quad in the triplets there. Otherwise, that's pretty bog standard. And then, I don't know, I don't think the rest of it's that difficult, probably. I can't imagine it being. But here's the ending. The strumming is nerfed a lot easier. Don't even need to really worry about whether you're ending on an up or down, because it's clearly a down. Also, this ending pattern is a bit easier too. No longer in 5s. So yeah, Freebird, I mean, someone could probably just play a run of that, one run of that, and it would likely be done. I haven't done that because I just wanted to make this video. I don't want to play these songs. What do you take me for? Okay, that's Freebird or Weebird, probably the easiest left, right? Looking at the list, it almost certainly is, but it's Freebird again. No one wants to play Freebird. Everybody's sick of it. Okay, next one, a bit more interesting. Hangar 18, the GH5 DLC version. More notorious for its riff, I think, than its solos, and doesn't really get affected by all strums because, in fact, it probably makes it easier. You don't have to depend on odd chord hammer-ons anymore. But anyway, I'm just going to play from solo 6 to the end. Everything before this, there might be a few things that are a bit weird, but the trickiest part of the song begin in solo 6. I'm just going to play it through. I don't know if this would be easier than GH2 version. Probably more difficult. Anyway, the gauntlet begins here. That's probably not the most difficult one. I actually haven't looked at these in a long time. That one's kind of strange. You've got to strum in fives, it seems like. Yeah, I gotta say, this song is pretty difficult to count. The patterns are very odd. Okay, not terrible, to be honest. I could see that being done by whoever wants to go for it. The only issue with that really is that all the hard stuff is at the end, so you got to sit through the rest of Hangar 18 if you want to give it a shot, which is the case for a few songs here. Anyway, next one is Living Deadbeat. Definitely one of the most difficult ones. Don't know if it's the most difficult. Could be. We'll have a look at it. There are a few tricky things in this, but I'm just going to show you the solos and the end, because the rest of it isn't as hard as the solos, so, you know. Alright, guitar solo less so. It's definitely the keyboard solo to watch out for here. So I don't know if the pattern is more difficult than, say, If You Want Peace, Prepare for War, but the song is quite a bit longer. I would wager this song is probably harder to FC without all strums, so maybe this is more difficult on all strums too. It doesn't really matter. There's no reason to compare it to that song. It's just another Children of Boredom song that I can draw parallels to. But yeah, that beginning of the keyboard solo, probably easier than If You Want Peace Before Fire. I mean, it's a lot less full on the song in general. But that's that section. But then you've got a hell of a chokeable outro. A lot of grace notes. These trills aren't that fast, but there's no accounting for nerves in this sort of thing. I suppose what is nice about it is that you can pretty easily group them into two, which I find to be an easy way of strumming trills. I do remember that being a bit faster, but I gotta say, it's clearly chokeable. Okay, that's Living Deadbeat. If that's the most difficult, then clearly all of these can be done, by the way. So, depending on whether you agree with me or not, could be the determining factor on how difficult you view these songs as a whole. Okay, the next one is Nothing to Say, one of the two Slash songs that's not done. Nothing to Say is mainly the solo, but there's a few quick licks scattered throughout. I don't think any of them have too much to write home about. I will show you this one. Kind of reminiscent of one of the later sections in Slash Guitar Battle, actually. But the main thing to write home about here is the solo. That part in particular, probably the worst. Otherwise, it's another one of those where you just probably got to be pretty good. Difficult to count, no clear pattern, just straight up shredded notes. I don't think there's anything past that. There's some basic strumming which isn't changed by all strums. So if you can master this solo, this song is yours, no doubt. Same with the next one, Parade of the Dead, Black Label Society. I guess Black Sunday got done. So here's Parade of the Dead. I would have thought this is easier. But let's take a look at the solo. Definitely has a trill in it at the beginning. I don't think the rest of the song is that difficult or changed on all strums, so if you can fluke it like once, like I just did there, I'm sure this one wouldn't be so bad. Song's not too short, that solo comes in only 2 minutes in. Parade of the Dead, that's literally all there is to say about that. I would have thought, no, Crazy Horse is usually considered the easiest of Black Label Society, so as far as all strums go, this might be the easiest one. So I'm not sure why it's the last one left. Anyway, next one is Watch This, the second Slash song. Maybe it's more difficult because of the trills, right? So verse 1B I think is the money section here. At least it's early in the song. But trills suck on all strums, I hate them. To be honest, I think the first half, where the trills are basically restricted to 2 notes apiece, is more difficult. Like, it's a lot easier to count when it goes to those smaller trills, or the triangles even, as opposed to just a big trill. Like, where does it start, where does it end? Nobody knows. But anyway, otherwise there is some chokeable stuff after. I'm going to show you the solo, but there are a few little small licks after this too. Not really any additional comments there, so we'll move on to the next one. Welcome to My Nightmare, a song notorious for being extremely broken when it comes to original engine, thanks to chord hammer-ons mixed with tap notes. They clearly never played this song or tried to UnFCed, but all that stuff is gone. However, the difficulty has now been transformed into strumming trills, and this trill is more or less never ending. And this is also at the very end of the song. But I mean, you know, Rain in Blood is UnFCed on all strums, so it's not like this can't be done. And the trill also isn't that fast. It's not like the one-handing is too fast for many people. So a song like this, it's basically just up to someone allowing themselves to sit through the first 4 minutes over and over again until they get it. Or fluking it. So yeah. There's a synth solo earlier, but it's a lot easier than that. So yeah, I think that song is pretty much literally just the trill, as far as I remember. I don't think there's anything outside of the keyboard solos, at least through a quick scan in my memory. Alright, so we're all ready to the last one, and that is going to be Who I Am, which is probably one of the more difficult ones. Not because of any necessarily standout hard part, but because there's a lot of shredding in this song, and it's also 7 minutes, whereas the rest of these songs are more like 5 minutes, with a few that are 4. This one's 7, and obviously Freebird is 10, but barely even counts, honestly. So I'm going to show you a few sections here. Solo 1, I believe, is the first time it gets particularly quick. Once again, more stuff that's difficult to count that's off the grid. And then 2B to 2D. Now, solo 2D is normally the notorious section of this song. This time it won't be. This song, I mean, it's nowhere near as bad, but it kind of reminds me of Soothsayer in a way, because there's just a lot of shredding with no particular pattern. So you just gotta stay on your toes for the whole duration of the long solo. And then we get to 2D, which is virtually unchanged. I mean, the difficulty of it is unchanged, because this was already all strums anyway. Plus we're on Clone Hero, right, so not really anything like trying to hit that on Original Engine, where you gotta be so early it's not even funny. And then, just for good measure, this guy, Tyler Bryant, what am I even trying to say? Throws in a mini trill in this outro solo for you to choke on. So here it is. It's not that bad, but like, it is fast, alright? I think it's worth talking about. One more time for good luck. Something about that confuses me. So it's actually 7 strums. Okay, that's all I got to show you for that song, and that's all I got to show you for all of the songs, actually. So yeah, 8 songs remain. I can see this whole category being killed off, you know, soon, if people go for it, or I mean, I can see it being killed off altogether, which is not necessarily the case of something like GH3 DLC or some of the other games. This category, I mean, none of the songs are as hard as some of the songs that have already been done. To name, you know, Raining Blood is pretty much a key one that is clearly harder than all of these songs. So am I saying that Java should do all of them? I don't think so. If he wants to, I'm sure he could, but I don't think that's going to happen. Feel free to prove me wrong. Okay, I believe that's all I have to say to you today. So I don't know when the next one of these videos will be.